Hello and welcome back to the Social Jar podcast. Back for another episode this week. It's another virtual episode, as Andreas mentioned last week. We have a brand new set that's in the process of being constructed on the Social Jar, which means for these 2 weeks, and hopefully these 2 weeks only, we are joining each other virtually for this episode. My name is Dan Wiseman. I'm your host, and I am joined by Mr. Andreas Georgiou once again. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm great, Dan. I mean, we're in the virtual world again.
Yes.
One more time, hopefully the final time.
Yep.
With the set being constructed. Yeah, I can't wait to share that with everyone. And if you are following us on our free Patreon account, you're going to have a very special video soon, which is going to be a behind the scenes of us building the set. So the only way to see that is on the Patreon account. So no excuses. It's totally free. Go and follow us and you get to see some behind the scenes of us building the set. It's going to be great.
Yeah, will be. Absolutely, mate. You'd be absolutely crazy to miss out on stuff like that. This episode, again, as it was last time, the topic was also voted by our loyal followers and the listeners over the Social Jar over on the Patreon account. We give you guys 3 options to choose from. And this week, you guys have voted for what exactly going viral means in this day and age of social media. It's a term, it's probably, you know, mate, in a ranking of ultimate social media buzzwords, I don't think you could find one that would take that off top spot. Maybe that is number one in the ones that we hear all the time. But what's most interesting is, as we're going to discuss in this episode, it doesn't exactly have a clear meaning, does it? It's something that's bandied about so often without anyone perhaps knowing exactly what constitutes something going viral. So I'm super excited to get into this one.
Yeah, me too, Dan. I've got a few definitions as well, and
Wow.
I'm sure we can actually look at how they differ across the board. But before we get started, I just hope that everybody is following us on the Social Jar YouTube channel, and of course, wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple Music, or who knows. What else is there, Dan? Stitcher, Audiocaster, Podbeam, Podmagician, all this other stuff. Wherever you listen, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and of course, as we said, the free Patreon account is right there for you all to get exclusive, never before seen content from the Social Jar. But let's do it, Dan. Let's get into it.
I'm
what
excited.
The hell does viral mean? You start, man. You tell me what viral means.
Well, I think that is, as you said, a very good place to start. And I think, you know, you've got these dictionary definitions, which I'm very excited to hear. I personally went to dictionary.com for mine. There's a lot. I saw some Urban Dictionary offering their 2 cents on it as well. So I went to dictionary.com and they defined viral as becoming very popular by circulating quickly from person to person, especially through the internet. What's interesting is the term viral actually stems from the word virus, which is something we unfortunately know far too much about in this day and age, and just sort of, again, it stems from that spreading quickly from person to person, and that's how the word viral has come about, which I didn't know. Learn something new every day, don't you? There's many different types of viral content. It can come in many different shapes, sizes, and formats. But yeah, as I said, it's a term and perhaps a standard that social media managers and marketers are held to constantly, much to their annoyance, I think, mate.
100%. It's the one word that we probably hear the most from our clients and partners. Like, when are we going to go viral? How do we go viral? But, you know, it's one of those things that it's an absolute pain in the backside, because as we're going to be, you know, go on to explain in this episode of the podcast, going viral isn't quite as simple as it sounds. But see, Dan, you went to dictionary.com. You're an astute man.
I did.
You're an astute man, but maybe I am just a bit classier than you, because I went to the official Cambridge Dictionary.
Wow.
That's where I went, Dan. Not Oxford, Cambridge Dictionary, to get my definition for viral. And according to Cambridge Dictionary, the adjective viral, adjective, what? That's a whole different.
You're the classy man. I mean,
I'm the classy
you
man. So however I say it, it stands. But is used to describe something that quickly becomes very popular or well known by being published on the internet or sent from person to person by email, phone, etc. Which I really found this definition to be extremely interesting, Dan, especially because they're saying it's something that, obviously, as we know, going viral means in general broad terms, something that is seen by lots and lots of people. But to be sent from person to person by email, phone, that just goes to show this is all about the internet. This is all about the digital age. There's no pigeon carriers around here. It's all about digital content.
100%, mate. 100%. It is a term that has been born with the rise of social media, really. It's a definition that I think has changed over time. I think, if we're going to truly define exactly what going viral really means, we have to go right back to the beginning. Sort of about a decade ago, maybe, with social media really in its infancy. A piece of content with maybe 10,000 views would have been considered viral. Videos, as we see nowadays, getting millions and millions and millions of views just didn't really happen back then. And sort of these smaller numbers, which I think we've come to consider sort of standard really for a pretty successful piece of content, that was the benchmark back then. That was what really in that day and age constituted something as being viral. If you go back to the early days of YouTube, I'd be really interested to see just exactly how many sort of views these big videos were getting. I can't remember if you go back to the glory days maybe of YouTube, sort of Charlie bit my finger time and all of this, and so Denny goes to the dentist, all of these videos which we went crazy for back a day, how many sort of views they actually had. And as I said, maybe a year, maybe 10 years ago, what we considered viral back then would have definitely been different to what we consider it now.
Well, I want to dig into the history of viral, Dan, because you just brought up one of my favorite things. And one of my favorite things to do when I was younger was, I didn't have a computer in my family house till I think I was like 15, 16. So whenever I used to go to like my cousin's house, they would have a laptop or a computer, and we would go on YouTube and we would just spend hours and hours going down the YouTube search function, finding all these viral videos. Like you mentioned, like Charlie Bit My Finger, which is now an NFT, of course. It's no longer actually available on YouTube. Gangnam Style, that one came a little bit later. But one of my personal favorites, do you remember this one, Dan? Chocolate rain. Don't know the rest of the words, but love that one. A bit of Chocolate Rain. I've actually got facts about Chocolate Rain, in fact.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
So if I can find it, I did have this in my research many seconds ago. No pressure, but here we go. Chocolate Rain, the original song by Tay Zonde, I hope I pronounced that correctly, was uploaded in April 2007, and currently, as it stands, it has 130 million views and 1.7 million engagements. Now, like you're saying there, Dan, which I think we're going to get onto in a second, the changing of the word viral over time. And, if we actually think about that and go, wow, this is considered a viral video. It has 130 million views, which in today's day and age might not actually sound like that much. But you have to remember, there was no TikTok. Facebook video wasn't really a thing. You had forums, of course, and you had, that side of the internet where videos were being shared. But YouTube was the ultimate go-to for viral videos at the end of the day. That's the place where everybody was uploading their content. Leave Britney Alone, for example. That viral video is known as probably being one of the biggest sensations of YouTube at that time in the mid-2000s. And the constitution of being viral was something that was seen by maybe only over 1 million people. What we would consider now, which something that's viral is, hundreds of thousands, or on a different scale, even more, depending on the platform, of course, is, is almost alien to what we were talking about back then. So, if we have to look at the history of where viral has come from, it all comes from YouTube. YouTube was the originator of the internet viral sensation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why perhaps still to this day, when we think of viral content, you think of video. It's normally video content that comes to mind when you think of your favorite viral pieces of content. But as you said at the time, it can consist of even down to the likes of emails. There's some crazy formats that you can come on. But thanks to YouTube and the platform that it gave these videos, which we're talking about, this is why I think nowadays it's still videos, which is the benchmark. And that's why when, as you said, we hear all these people saying, I want to go viral. Why hasn't this gone viral? Let's make something that can go viral. It's normally video that they're talking about. And, as I said, I think it's almost tempting at this point to dedicate a whole section of the podcast just to talking about our favorite viral videos. I think one of them, this is pretty niche, that stands out to me is Susan Boyle. I remember her audition for Britain's Got Talent got like tens of millions of views back in when was that? 2010 maybe. Someone can probably correct me. I think 2009 it was. Not bad. Good guess.
Oh,
from me,
your BGT well.
Yes. Yeah, I was clearly an FB fan. I remember that got tens of millions of views on YouTube, and that just felt almost alien at the time. But as I said, maybe something we'll come on to a little later. But thanks to the likes of TikTok, videos now with millions of views are totally commonplace. And I think that pursuit of evolving with the times and achieving viral content has given birth to some pretty incredible forms of content, and then whole industry, a whole aspect of marketing, viral marketing, which has come about, in which organizations attempt to create viral content using memes, shares, likes, and forwards to spread campaign messaging. It's pretty incredible what it's evolved into, and that pursuit of achieving viral content has turned into an entire sphere within the advertising and marketing industry, which is pretty incredible to think.
Yeah, what's funny is that if you look at what viral video was, like we're explaining with YouTube, these are silly videos, Chocolate Rain, Charlie Bit My Finger, Leave Britney Alone. And according to Wikipedia, by the way, I just Googled list of viral videos, and Wikipedia has a list, and the top the top video on that list, for those in the know, is Two Girls, One Cup. Which obviously we won't talk about too much. We won't talk about that on the podcast.
Mate, you ruined. I'd gone at least 10 years without hearing that, and
you unlocked a memory, core memory, eh? Oh dear. The playground was. It was the talk of the playground. That's all we can say.
Will not forget.
Yeah, I don't know why that's on this list, but God bless Wikipedia. They've always.
Was that on YouTube?
Oh, definitely not. I mean,
I was going to say.
I can't comment if I watched it or not, but I would believe it would be on some kind of website that isn't YouTube. Sorry, that was just a really random finding that Wikipedia, under its viral videos, listed that. There's a bunch of stuff on there which is ridiculous, such as the Shia LaBeouf motivational speech, Evolution of Dance, which is actually one of the earliest examples of a viral video on YouTube. But you could literally dig into it for hours and hours, days and days, couldn't you, Dan? Just this amazing content, and that's the key word I want to use: amazing. Maybe not for Two Girls, One Cup, but amazing content that everybody it was fun and enjoyable to watch. And we are now living in an age, Dan, where viral felt like it was something organic. It felt like something that was special, that deserved to get the attention of many. It deserved to be shared by millions of people. Now viral, as you put it yourself, is a marketing tactic. Mm-hmm. Brands, influencers are trying to manufacture a viral sensation. And that's why now the word has almost become bastardized. What viral meant with these examples we're given here, Dan, it's not quite the same anymore, is it?
No, exactly that, mate. And I think, we were actually, one of the other options for this week's topic is the sort of the rise of creator-generated content. And, we've spoken previously about how important user-generated content and influencers can be to brands nowadays. And I think, as you said, organic is a very key word. So viral marketing is all about users spreading content or a message organically and quickly. It's sort of often confused with sort of guerrilla marketing, but that word organic is the key difference between the two. A viral marketing campaign, in essence, is very simple to carry out. You create a video or another type of content that you hope is attractive to as many people as possible. You try and put it out there to an audience that you hope will promote it and do the heavy lifting for you. From there, it's all about whether that fuse lights, and that's where these specialist organizations that sort of focus on viral marketing in particular come into their own. But as you said, mate, virality often, it's not intentional. And I think perhaps that's the difference nowadays. Is these videos which we were talking about back in the day, maybe this is some sort of nostalgia kicking in, but it didn't feel like it was ever their intention. it was unintentional. These videos were often created unintentionally. It was just someone filming their friends or a funny moment that they happened to get on camera. And then from there, YouTube, as it often was, took it and did the rest of the work. And now we're sat here 10 years down the line still talking about them. But it's very interesting now that, as you said, we're hearing as people within the industry, we're hearing so much about it. It is something that so many people want to achieve. But is it almost in a way something that you can't try too hard to make happen? I feel like, as we said, all of these pieces of content, they're so different and so varied and often so unintentional that perhaps do you think it's more difficult than ever if you're setting out with a viral piece of content as your goal to actually achieve that?
You know what? The reason now that this manufactured process for virality has almost become intrinsic in the marketing industry is because of one of our favorite other buzzwords, algorithms. Hey, we should have social media buzzword bingo, and people at home can play along. Maybe we will do that. Actually, that's something for us to look into for the Patreon followers. But algorithms, see, Dan, when we're talking about YouTube and we're talking about these amazing videos that became viral, that was in a different time for YouTube. That was before YouTube kind of placed its preference on certain types of content, on certain types of creators. It felt a lot more organic, whereas now we all know that the way YouTube works and, you know, how it tries to push its, you know, preferred partners especially, it's a very, very different style to the YouTube that we all grew up with. So when we're talking about, you know, the necessity to try and manufacture something, it's actually really important, because going viral organically has kind of become a thing of the past. It's something that almost has to be, you know, something special, something super rare. For example, the Fleetwood Mac Dreams with the man on the skateboard and he's drinking, I believe it's like cranberry juice. That was like an organic viral sensation. But I've also got an example from the opposite side of that, from TikTok as well, which is something which is rumored and reported to be manufactured. And that, of course, is the ABCDEFu song on TikTok, which apparently the reason that song kind of began is a person went on to, I believe it's Gail's TikTok, and asked her to write a breakup song using the alphabet, to which Gail released ABCDEFu and then became an actual track and then became a viral song on TikTok. However, some people have reported that this original account, which asked the question, Nancy_Berman, is actually somebody that was working as a digital marketing manager at Atlantic Records, which was where Gail was signed. So there's this evidence and proof in front of our eyes that there are marketers that they see this opportunity to go viral, and they are actually scheming and plotting and trying to manufacture that virality. So it's really difficult, Dan, to actually say, like, does viral deserve to be perceived in this new light now, something that somebody can go and make? And I think, unfortunately, even though I don't agree with it, I think that's with the algorithms and with culture and society and how it's changed now, I feel that that's something that's now a part of digital content creation.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's very telling that when we think of really in the last few years, say 3 or 4 years, the biggest pieces of viral content have often been tied to some kind of advertising or generally financial campaign. I wanted to talk about the Ice Bucket Challenge, because this is one of the sort of, in recent years, one of the true viral trends, because, you know, we're not just talking about pieces of content, but it could be trends that really help to create engagement and ultimately fund a wider goal. So the Ice Bucket Challenge was for the ALS Association, which sort of, they wanted to intend users in it to get involved and to donate to their cause and fund medical research. The challenge, as it sort of, I'm sure most people, did you get involved in the Ice Bucket Challenge?
If I can dig out an example, we'll post it on social, but I definitely did. It might be on my Facebook page somewhere. I'm guessing you did, Dan.
Yes, absolutely. So, the challenge was to film yourself pouring a bucket of ice water over your head, and then nominate 3 other people to follow suit. I've seen millions of people around the world participate. Celebrities got involved, Oprah, Bill Gates, even like the likes of Donatella Versace were having a go, and the challenge was a great success. Over $115 million were raised. There's, and I think when you think of these kind of trends, it's interesting now, as you said, that you very rarely get these videos. Obviously, I think TikTok has helped these sort of organic, unintentional videos become viral sensations. And it's interesting that we're having these conversations again, like we were in the early YouTube days, where the most viral videos on TikTok, we can come into the office, reference them as we do all of the time. We're always referencing TikTok sound and stuff like that. And it's a sort of, it does feel quite wholesome in a way. It's a throwback to these early days.
Comforting.
But yeah, on the whole.
Comforting.
Yeah, exactly that. On the whole, nowadays viral content is often like sort of built around these advertising campaigns, and it's why perhaps more so than ever, with everybody wanting a piece of this pie, it's so difficult to break that barrier. And sort of whatever that barrier may be, this is the problem: is that some video analysts consider a video having just 100,000 views as being viral, whereas some claim that figure can be anywhere up to 5 million. But getting anywhere close to those figures is so difficult because they estimate online over 5 billion videos are watched online every day across platforms. On YouTube, however, more than half of all these videos, 53%, have fewer than 500 views, with less than 1% having more than 1 million views. So if you want to get up to that 5 million total, which some video analysts sort of hail as the benchmark for something to go viral, you have to be, I think it's fair to say, incredibly fortunate.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, Dan, because I think this is one of the points I really wanted to make. Like, when we're talking about viral, people are always looking for a number, like what number is viral? And you've just given some examples of numbers there. But viral, and this is probably one of the biggest myths that there is. There is no such thing as a viral number. There's no such thing as saying if a video gets over X views, it is viral. This is the biggest myth in all of social media. Viral is this manufactured phrase which is nothing to do with actual formulaic numbers or statistics or aggregation. It is literally to do with opinion, and that's what, probably in my opinion, that might be controversial. That might be something that many people disagree with, but it's true. How can you have viral defined by a number when different platforms classify virality with different numbers? And it just doesn't make sense. Yep. Like we say, any other example, if something's, a 2 or a 5, that's an odd or an even number. That's a fact. You can't argue with that. But what a viral number is, that's not. For example, TikTok, I believe the TechWire did an article on them, and they said that viral videos must get at least 500 full views in half an hour, if not more. And this is according to TikTok. A single view is counted when viewers watch the video without skipping or leaving. Now, I've got a perfect example of exactly that, which is a video that we did for IMAF, our clients, which was referee Scott Manhart getting kicked in the face. Bless him. Yeah, what a great moment. What a great moment. But obviously we know on TikTok how a video goes viral, again, is due to an algorithm. The For You page, which is what TikTok is pushing content-wise to different viewers to try and give them content that they will be interested in. Now, we looked at the statistics for this IMAF video. At the moment of this recording, it's got 323,000 views, which is a huge number, and definitely the biggest number that we've achieved on the IMAF TikTok channel. But from the statistics page, 99% of the views, Dan, came from the For You page. If you're asking me, is this a viral video? The answer is yes, because the majority of people watching it aren't followers of IMAF, or they might not even be followers of MMA, and they've seen this video, and hundreds of thousands of people have seen it. Whereas, like we're saying here on YouTube, people are saying, oh, this isn't viral because this hasn't got 1 million views. It's subjective. And I think that's the one biggest misconception on what viral actually means.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally relative, isn't it? It's all dependent on the account, who's posting it, the audience, and everything like that. Some more like I think the bottom line is perhaps the best way to judge whether something has gone viral is not by the total amount of views that it gets, but perhaps the rate that it's consumed and sort of just how long. Because we see, it's an incredibly short, despite all of these videos on the internet. I was looking up earlier today, and it's very rare. It's actually, based on all the videos that are watched online, less than 10% of video viewers actually watch to the end of any given video. It's, entirely normal that people will, as we all do on TikTok, tune in for a few seconds, fast forward to the end, see what happens, drop out, scroll to the next one. It's very rare that for any piece of content you will sit and watch the entire duration of it. So perhaps the better way to judge it is the rate at which people watch the content, and as opposed to looking at constantly how many views has it got, how many is it going to get, what's the end total. If something hits 40,000 views in a few hours, but then it starts to dwindle, it can still be considered viral, I think, purely because of the rate at which it was picked up originally. And maybe that's a better way to define it. And that perhaps leads me on to my final point, mate. And this is something I'm very excited to. It's something I absolutely love talking about. It's something we've actually covered on Uniform Socials before. It would be positively rude, I think, to come on here and talk about viral content without talking about the world record.
World record egg. World record egg.
Unbelievable.
We loved it.
Unbelievable.
We loved the world
without
record
a doubt.
egg.
We do, mate. We do. I think, it can be a pretty doom and gloom world sometimes. And this always provides me some solace. Always provides me there's some good in the world, because someone banged a picture of an egg on Instagram and said, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm looking at Kylie Jenner's record of 18 million likes on Instagram as the record for the platform, the most ever likes a picture has received, and I'm going to beat it with a picture of this egg. Under the account World Record Egg, they posted a simple photo, and at the time of recording, I looked today, it's up to 58 million likes, and it only ever was set out to surpass 18 million. It's truly iconic. I absolutely love it. It's just a beautiful example of people coming together to get behind a course with no real reason or purpose or intention, just to sort of achieve this crazy goal. And I've got to be honest, mate, I'll be surprised if it's ever surpassed, because we've seen the likes of, Cristiano Ronaldo is the most followed account on Instagram. He's in the top 10 for the most liked posts, and he gets, maybe 5 to 10 million or something like that. But to get, and counting 58 million, that'll never be beaten.
It might be world record kumquat or world record tomato.
Yes,
could emerge, but I think it will be very difficult to defeat the world record egg, and it's a very wholesome thing that it just shows. Again, it shows going viral, how it can be manufactured. It's not a great piece of content. Let's be honest, it's an egg. You know what I mean? But people have come together and let's make this viral. And that's what they've done, with World Record Egg. So again,
it's beautiful.
It just really brings kind of that debate together about what viral truly means.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. And I think that's you've got to finish on a high, right? And there's no higher than that. 58 million likes. Absolutely incredible. We're huge fans of the World Record Egg. We also love that they've managed to turn their Instagram account into a proper feed
fantastic.
Now with graphics and video. They've really gone to town. They've picked up that ball and ran with it. It's quite amazing. We're absolutely massive fans of it. That's one of our favourite pieces of viral content, but obviously you guys, the listeners of the Social Jar, we would love to know yours as well. Reply to this wherever you're watching, or tweet us, or at Uniform Brand. Let us know your favourite pieces of viral content. Hopefully, we'll have some viral content of our own for you guys over on our Patreon account. As Andreas said at the top of the episode, there's loads of exciting content coming your way, exclusive stuff behind the scenes that we're going to be giving to you guys. And as you said, we're going to reward you, the most loyal listeners, with some polls where you can decide future episodes and all sort of exciting stuff that's going to be coming your way in the weeks to come. And the best part is, well, there's been loads of stuff already happening. Maybe that's what's on the brain. But yeah, it's absolutely free. Go and get involved, guys. It's in the description if you're watching on YouTube, or if you head to any of our socials, be that me or Andreas or the Uniform Brand accounts, you'll find a link to the Patreon there. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to say thank you to Andreas Georgie for joining me once again on the Social Jar, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.